So again, welcome. I've already got somebody else. Everybody to the call today. There are so many cool things going on, and I've talked to a couple of distributors about them. I know we've talked about Mower Mountain, and I know that's difficult, especially for Australians and people in New Zealand. But I think the information coming out in Mower Mountain, everything that we've got going, new programs, new products, it's so cool. And some new ideas that it's just going to be very fun. I always love new products. Sometimes more, I love new programs. And that's really all I want to say right now, but just really stir things up. We've been working really hard. Tom has hired some cool new pros in some of these areas, and I think you guys are going to love what's going on. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. Let's talk about the promo of this month. The Flying Angel. 2 Sisel Strong, 2 Vibrant Laundries, 1 Aseptic Clean, 2 Cucumber Lime, 2 Mount Pleasants. And with that, you get 2 free Super Shines. So we were just looking at the numbers today, Milo and I, and it has been a very, very popular promo. People have loved this. And it's just kind of an all things clean. You know, for the US, it's their spring clean, but for us, it's just all things clean. But we also, Milo and I, do the deal of the day. And did you guys love the deal of the day with the TSX? Everyone loved it. It went crazy. So it's why it's on our backorder list now, which is awesome, though. But it was such a cool deal of the day. And, you know, TSX can be hard because it is one of our most exciting products. You really look at the science behind it. It's a little pricier. And, you know, when we have as many great products as we do, you know, sometimes I understand that can be really hard. Let me see. Are you saying something's not working? Okay. Thanks, Harry. And Carmel. So very fun deal of the day with our TSX. We thought giving a great price point there. We did even let it go on all the packs. So it was a huge savings if you were able to get some of the packs of TSX. So we're working on our upcoming promos. We've got an awesome one coming for May, and then an awesome deal of the day for May as well. So it's been probably one of our most popular promos and definitely one of our most popular deals of the day this month. So very cool. Our backorder list, it's staying pretty small, which I love. We still have Enliven, no ETA, for Restore, which will be back at the end of April. TSX, which will be 2 weeks because we just blew out of it. And Sisel Strong, I don't have an ETA on that. So I'll keep you guys updated as I know those weeks. Like I say, we are working hard on Mower Mountain. That's coming up. Lots of cool things there. So excited to talk about that. And, you know, I just went on a trip with Milo back east, and we did some meetings. And one of the products they wanted me to talk about was Encompass 360, and they had us take turns, and, you know, we'd talk about different products at different times. And as I was going through my notes, I came across some notes from my dad. And I remember one day we were going to do Encompass 360 on this call. And at the very last second, he had something come up that he couldn't make it. And if you remember, Dad never missed this. He loved this call. He loved meeting everybody on here. He loved getting up here. And it was just the best time. So much product information. And when I came across that, I took it to the meeting, and on one of the meetings, you know, I was able to put it up on a PowerPoint, and everybody wanted a copy of it because, you know, I just said, I don't know as much about Encompass as you do. I said to Dad, and he said, then let's go through it right now. And he tell you everything. And I literally wrote word for word. I remember, and I took those notes with me, and I just said, slow down. And I wrote exactly as he said it. And we don't have our leaders right now series today because I'm really working and concentrating on our second call after that, which we've spoken about a little bit. And that's just trying to kind of get some Sisel business underway with a little bit of feedback from you. So I just thought, as I'd been using this in some of the trainings, and then I'd had some calls where people had also asked me to do it on some of their team calls. I thought, I'll do it here, and I'm going to give it to you guys if you guys would love it. But it's, like I say, just a very fun Encompass. Let's see if this pulls up, guys. Can you see that? Now, if anybody wants this, let me know and I will email it to you, because like I say, this is not me with Encompass. This is literally from my dad. And he didn't have to look up one thing, not one thing. And just like with any other product he was talking about, Dad was able just to, he had so much information in his head. It was amazing. It was awesome. And I just always in awe, just that he could just start talking about something and talk about, any scientist or studies, which is exactly what he did here. I'm going to read this really fast. It's very cool. Like I say, kind of just in place of our leaders program today, we'll talk about this little Encompass 360 training that people have been loving. And those of you who want it, I will send you a copy. Because like I say, these are literally Dad's words as I wrote them. So animated in what he had to say. The number one dietary supplement. And you know what's so cool about this is we have so many products that I said to Milo when I had Encompass 360, I said, I just came across these notes that I took from my dad. And when I read it to him, he's like, that is amazing. And he says, such a cool product. And we forget every time we come out with a product, why it's so cool, what it does for us. And, we're always on to the next one. But this one is one of it's for sure. And I think everybody's. The number one dietary supplement in the world is a multivitamin. Dad said, think about why. Vitamins and minerals are essential to support the biological processes in your body. The lower the levels of vitamins and minerals in your body directly affects your level and maintaining those levels. Running on diminished levels of vitamins and minerals is the equivalent of adding a cup of gas to your gasoline tank, but needing to drive 10 miles somewhere. It just isn't going to be enough to get you there. Your body functions slow down and you push too far. If you do, you can completely collapse. And he's talked about this a lot 60, 70 years ago. I'll kind of go over this. Scientists learned that your body required these essential vitamins and minerals, and they established what we know now as the minimum RDA, recommended daily allowance of vitamins and minerals, and sometimes organic compounds that your body needs to function. And they'll talk about that as they have products and foods out there. There are things that occur naturally in foods from the ground. Animals still depend on nature to give them what they need from the ground to grow muscle, bones, etc. Organic food. Inorganic food can still give you some benefit, but much less. And here's where I love Dad. He literally had nothing in front of him. And he just said, Linus Pauling. And I remember he said, do you know who he is? I said, no. And he said, Linus Pauling was a brilliant scientist. He said, you can trace almost any disease or health condition to a trace mineral, essential mineral deficiency. Why? If these minerals are not there, the biological processes can't occur. And furthermore, the amount you have directly relates to the level of activity and energy as well. This is nature's way from the beginning. To eat no broad spectrum choices in food, which is common in the food we have today, gives us a nutritional value that is grossly deficient. 150 years ago and before that, every nutrient we needed, for the most part, was in our soil and the crops that we harvested from that soil. Now it's at least 75% deficient with 25% left for your body to use. Our body was designed to get its nutrients from food. When you train, or when your brain it's low in these things, it triggers hunger. I loved this little fact Dad brought up because it makes sense for people who have the munchies sometimes. So think about this. Our body was designed to get its nutrients from food. When your brain knows it's low in these things, it triggers hunger. Thinking to eat more food will provide more nutrients for your body, right? And Dad said that's how it was designed to work. The less nutrition you get, the more your brain tells your body to eat, hoping or leading to a buildup, or hoping to get more nutrients, but instead leading to a buildup of fat. So instead of nutrients and healthy, leads to diabetes, coronary heart disease, high cholesterol, and of course, much more. There's a good chance that you may be wanting to eat more just because your body is missing these essential minerals. 60 to 70 years ago, we began to see that there was a deficiency. Continuous farming and harvesting, as we all well know, has depleted the soil even more. Adding organic materials to vast crops didn't make economic sense. And so our food may look bigger sometimes, but they're hollow when it comes to nutrients. Nitrogen-based compounds stimulate the growth, so they duplicate at a faster rate, becoming bigger, but the content inside remains the same, hollow. To test this, try to find a strawberry or tomato from a store that tastes good. Absolutely impossible. It's sad. But nutritional science has grown exponentially through the years. And the USDA says the food in the US are 75% deficient. Europe and Asia are the same. Why? They have bigger populations now. 1.6 billion people lived in the world in the year 1800. Now over 7 billion people put a demand on those same resources and nutrients. Nutritional science learns how to increase your vitality and vital function when they increase these vitamins and minerals. And here Dad says, hence the name vitamins for vitality. And I don't know, sometimes just those little bits, I didn't know that, it was very cool to me. Vitamins for vitality. So if you're low in vitality, overweight, or with a stressed system, scientists could see the importance of those nutrients and came up with a recommended daily allowance, but based on the minimum amount needed. So what does this mean? You can't take 4 to 5 bottles of vitamins. And who wants the lowest amount of vitality? Encompass 360 has the maximum amount in a multivitamin complex. Use the minimum RDA, get the minimum vitality. Use the maximum, get the maximum vitality. And then he also notes, which is true, Spectromax is also key to your nutrition as well as it supplies all those essential trace minerals. So Dad says, you ended with, and I loved it, there's 2 types of multivitamins to buy, the minimum RDA or the maximum RDA. It's your choice. So very cool. I loved it. I thought it was just super fun and was just interesting to hear his words again and the way he talked and just the way he put things. And, Dad was always someone to give you a story and a comparison. And that just came from his head. And I think it's awesome. And like I said, those of you who want that, I'll be more than happy to send that to you. So it's been a lot of fun out there for people to see what he had to say on Encompass. And I'm trying to find some of the other things that he's had and some of the other videos that he's even done here that we can start looking at again and getting some other trainings from. So just a very cool thing. So even though this is a little bit earlier, guys, I wanted to talk about having some feedback here and eventually going to a council within Australia. Let me see here what people are saying so I can. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Yes. Copies. I will get them for everybody for sure. It's very cool. But with some of the different things going on, there's going to be a lot of our future calls, especially after Mower Mountain, where there's a lot of trainings. There's going to be a lot of distributor testing of some new programs, some really cool things, and some really brilliant ways to expand your business. I don't want to say too much because they're really doing this amazing kickoff for Mower Mountain. But I just want to say, this is an interesting time for us, and we've got a million things we're working on. But I think you guys are going to have a lot of choices to build your business in the future in ways you never have before. And it's going to be very cool. And as we do this, we've got to get Australia and New Zealand back where we were growing again at the rate where we were, and having a good time, supporting each other. And that's what I hope these calls are for. Everyone can support each other. One thing for sure I see, going back east and doing these calls or these meetings, is they just talk about it's the inability to build business on your own. It's just not that type of business out there. You have to work with people, and it's the only way really to make your business grow. And I hope on these calls that we can do that with respect, cross line, up line, down line, either way. And then, like I say, those who are interested and, those who feel like in the end would be a good fit for the council, will start our council again. I think we're getting close to that. So it says mute all, but I hope everybody is unmuted. So I'm going to unmute everybody at this time. And what I hope is, if you do have something to say, you can get on, and let's keep each thought to, 1 to 2 minutes. So we don't have too many people that are taking up too much time, but obviously the goal is here for some input. So on this first one, I really want to talk about what we want to do on these calls, what we want to talk about. I know there are a lot of times that as we finish our country call, I can see people who want to talk to me about something. And we haven't had a council for a while, and I don't think we probably should have before now. It's just been a lot of changes, and especially for Australia. And so I think, like I said, now's the perfect time, and started out with those of us who come on here. And you guys have been just great and supporters. And I think it'd be awesome to hear what you guys have to say about what you want to do, what we want to make this call. Now, I chose this call right after our country call because it's very difficult to find a time of a call that works for everybody. I mean, even the Saturday morning call, I have a lot of people who still say, if you didn't do it on Saturday morning, I could be on that call. And it makes it hard, but you finally just have to choose a day and a time and have a call. So I thought the best thing would take one of our country calls each month, and right after it, have one of our Sisel business calls, and just have everybody on and talk about Sisel business. Now, there's issues out there that we can talk about and problems. This isn't a call where we want it to be a complaining call, but obviously there are issues. So those aren't really complaints. Those are things that we have to address, and so let's keep it as positive as possible, looking forward to answers, talking about the things that we and you feel, especially out there as you are building your business, that can help you do that more. Things that you might need, things that you're struggling with, things that you would like to see in the future. So with that, if everybody would unmute themselves, we're going to keep it at this time, if that's all right with anyone, unless I have, I guess, if I have a good amount of people on this call who say otherwise, and maybe that's something I'll follow up with. After this call, I'm going to send out a questionnaire based on some of the things that we talked about today, so that we can kind of dial down on some of the things that we talk about today. So I'll also be able to get some information, so the next time we have a call, we can kind of see where we're going on this. Yeah. Now, one of the things I do want to talk to you guys about, because I always love to have distributor input, and I have to tease him, but Dad was the opposite, he just kind of said, but he was old school, and, and that was Dad, and that worked for him. But when we had our council working, and it was a working council. And that's what I want to say. If you are ever interested in being on the council, know that it isn't just a place that you go and you sit there and, it's ideas and working on ideas and taking responsibility for parts of those ideas and programs. And we did some really cool things. One, we put together, and I remember showing my dad in his office the Zoom opportunity call that we did and put together. And that was Katie and, oh gosh, you guys will have to help me remember the couple of people that were with her who did such a great job. And everybody could do their own, but those two three took that on, and he was so impressed. But just things that we looked at for Australia and New Zealand that we could do, things I could take back to corporate and talk to him about. So with that, I want to open up the phone lines and just kind of talk to you guys. And maybe let's start it off in talking about let's just head right into the meat of it. A couple of issues maybe that you guys see in your business that you would like addressed. Because I know I get some emails. I know people say they would like to talk on this. So like I said, let's remember to kind of keep it kind of short so that everybody can get in there and have a chance to talk.
Hello, it's Jenny Leisel.
Hello, Miss Jenny.
How are you this morning?
Good.
Great. And now I think one of the major issues in our sponsoring here in Australia, and after all, it's all about bringing new people in and training them and keeping them happy and keeping them interested in those first few weeks and first few months. And I think when they come up against an issue when they first start, that's going to be a negative for them. And unfortunately, as you know, our issue here in Australia is the freight. Yeah. And I have noticed when I order anything on the express, and it usually only costs about $5 extra, I get that product within about 8 days.
Correct.
But otherwise, it takes 21, 24 days to get to me. So a new distributor is not going to want to wait for 24 days. Now, I'm not sure of this point, Leisel, and you may be able to correct me. But when the loyalty bonuses first started in USA, and we didn't get them here in Australia for 2 or 3 years, yeah, I know it was noted that you only paid the loyalty bonus on the regular freight, not express.
Right.
So I'm wondering if that's the case now.
I don't think so. It's different for us. I think in the US, express is not that much more. Like, as you pointed out, I think it's what we really are trying to push people to, because I agree with you. There's certain products, obviously CBD has to go economy, and as long as you train people on that. But I'm with you there. And are they telling you that that's No.
What I'm saying is there is a hesitancy in bringing new people in if they've got to wait for this length of time. And if that loyalty bonus is only paid on the regular freight, and say I've got something on express, could you as a company just pay that to us, less the $5 express, the extra money, and give it back to that distributor, because we don't want them compromised because they've ordered express?
Agreed, because we want them to order express.
Yes.
So, yes, that's a great point. Great point. Another thing some distributors have talked to me is making it a little bit easier to see the express versus the economy shipping. Sometimes it can get confusing depending on your order, which is why next week I am going to have somebody from customer service also on this call to kind of talk about how you do this. But I also want to say there is going to be some revamps on the way that we bring people in and our back office to make it easier, because there are so many steps. So, but I'll see if there's a difference in that express rate. I've got somebody saying that they've always received their shipping rebate, always express, and always received the shipping loyalty rebate. Julie says that.
That's great. That's great. Yes.
Okay. Marilyn, you want to have a comment?
Yes, I'd like to put further to what Jenny has said. UPS economy in Australia, well, in New South Wales anyway, only delivers to regional and metropolitan areas. So people like myself on the South Coast, we have to pay for international. That's fine. But in New Zealand, they only have one option, and that's economy. Now, I received notification from one of my distributors. Their order for the 16th of March has only just been delivered on the 20th of April, I think it was, which is one hell of a long time for them to wait. And another distributor, Aramex, sent their parcel up to New Plymouth when they lived down at the bottom of the North Island, and Sisel have now had to replace.
Yeah, I don't want to get into individual shipping issues.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is, why is New Zealand restricted to just UPS economy?
It just is. Unfortunately, and I've talked with Thomas about this, but that doesn't mean it just always has to be. This is the contract that we're in right now. We're, like I say, we're always looking at different things, and it's definitely not something that we want long term, but it's definitely something that we're looking at for sure. But it's not an option for us to have anything different at this point. But like I said, he's definitely working on it.
Okay, thank you, Leisel.
You're welcome, Marilyn. Jen, you had a comment?
Yes, Leisel, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, look, I mean, you guys down south get your products a lot quicker than what we do up here in Queensland. In Queensland economy, you wait at least 4 to 6 to 8 weeks for products to come. And economy, when you do expedited was fantastic. You get it in about 8 to 10 days. Awesome. The big issue that we have up here, and this is why it's really, really hard to build a business and why we're having difficulties even with this climate that we've got, is the fact that when you sign a new distributor up, this comes as a new distributor, there is no capacity to put that order as expedited.
So we're working on that because you and I spoke about that last week.
Yeah.
So, yes, I brought that up because obviously with training, that, you can all get it down, but with new distributors, it's very difficult. So there's going to be some changes on that, just so you know.
Awesome. Because it's really difficult when you've got new people and they have to wait 6-8 weeks for products. They're not going to order again.
That's right. We don't want to make it seem like we're pushing them to do expedited, because we don't want anyone to say, well, I wouldn't have chosen that on my own, but we want to make it the easiest thing for them. So because it's obviously anybody that has to wait that long, especially in the beginning, that's almost death to anything you've built with them. So I understand, yes. And we're making some progress on that. And hopefully by our next caller before, I can have some updates on that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anybody else want to talk about that?
Oh, hi, Leisel. It's Mary. How you doing?
Hi, Mary. Good.
Is it actually worth investigating? Because I've had massive issues with the freight, and it's been call upon call upon call. And, I'm one of the people that's clogging the lines to actually find out where is my order. I've had my orders returned back to America. I've had it not leave America. And the only time that I've actually had an economy come at a reasonable time is that I've actually rung you guys a week after to say, has my shipping been, has my order actually been shipped? And so there's an issue with UPS where they're actually, and I've actually raised it with customer service, but it needs to be investigated because, if I don't actually ring and hound, I do not get the order, and I don't feel that it's fair that I'm pushed to actually do express. And to the extent, I'm one of those people that actually didn't receive orders for 6 to 8 weeks, holding on.
But that's what, and you always go economy, right?
I used to.
And Mary, that's what economy is. So,
but it's not. It's not like that. It never used to be like that. It's only since you've gone to UPS.
Right, but this is what we're dealing with now, and that's what we have to learn.
Yeah, but you're the only company, Leisel, that I have issues with on freight, is what I'm trying to explain.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I understand, but maybe there needs to be investigation. Like, there might be a better company out there that will internationally freight. I don't know. I'm just saying it's worth doing investigation.
All the time, absolutely. If you guys have any ideas, Sandy sent me a couple. I took a look at them. But you also have to remember, when I brought this up like a month or so ago, because, Mary, I'm with you, I'm always looking for something better. Right now that we've stayed with UPS, Mary, is it's been very turbulent times, and hardly anyone has not encountered problems with shipping. So UPS is a bigger company.
It might be. It's worth going back to the old days and putting it into a.
I brought this up weeks ago, and I said I was going to be investigating this. I got quite a few people, including some I can see on this call, who rang me up right away and said, do not change a thing. So it would be interesting, and maybe in a follow-up, in my kind of follow-up questionnaire, I'll ask people really what they think of that, because I think you do have people who want to change things, and you have people who say it's been better than ever. But we do have to accept that with the economy right now, it is going to take around 6 weeks. It's just the way it goes. And of course,
but I'm not even getting them in 6 weeks. Like, that's the issue. And that not leaving the country, it's staying in UPS, or it's like, these are the things. Like, I've had 2 orders that have actually been redistributed. Mm-hmm. Right, because and these are the things. It's almost like this, like being hamstrung. Is it worth going back to the old days where we actually had a shipping container, and every 8 to 10 days, it actually just, once it was full, it gets sent off, and the freight was cheaper, and at least we know that we're getting it consistently. Just a thought.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. Marilyn?
Leisel, I believe that the people who are asking you not to change anything either live in metropolitan or regional areas. Australia's a vast country, and I don't consider myself that I live in the country. I live in quite a built-up area, but I'm 4 hours out of Sydney.
Sure.
And I have to do international. If UPS economy didn't give the parcels to, I think it's Freightways, who then make their own labels, and if you live out of their area, they changed my address from Catalina to Pennant Hills and things like that, which was a nightmare for both of us until I knew I had to go international only. If it came to Australia Post, I know some of the distributors don't like them, I've been receiving from them for 26 years and I have no issues. And they deliver right across Australia. They don't discriminate.
Now, I brought up Australia Post before and I got a huge kickback on that. Does anybody else have any opinion on Australia Post?
They got totally slaughtered, but it looks like because of the mass media that they've put their act into gear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I can't speak too highly of their delivery service.
Yeah. And, here's some things you have to do is go back to and look at their reviews. One thing someone mentioned, well, actually, I saw a company that had started in the States and they were shipping to Australia. And someone said, super excited for this company. So I thought, okay, who is this? And then I went to their reviews and 4 out of 5 were, where's my product? Where's this? Where's my package? It was, so part of it is the day and age we're in. And right now I'm very hesitant, Mary and Marilyn, to make any big changes, but I'm telling you, absolutely, we want something that's fast and affordable for Australians and New Zealanders. It can't be such a big negative for new people. So I understand that completely. And I think on these calls, as we keep talking about it and keep looking at things, we'll find an answer for that. So just know, even though it may seem like maybe I'm giving a little bit of pushback, I'm giving a little bit of pushback right now because I get so many positive emails on the time right now of people getting their packages. And with what we went through with our freight forwarder and everybody trying to find that and everything, I'm just hoping for a little bit of normalcy. But absolutely, shipping is my absolute number one issue to look for the best answer for Australia.
Okay.
And of course,
International seem to use Star Trek. That's the sister company of Australia Post. And again, they don't completely deliver right down the south coast of New South Wales. Mm-hmm. And they pass it across to Australia Post. And it still doesn't make an issue. We still get the parcels okay. It's economy going to Aramex that's the big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
May I give some thoughts here? In Tom's previous company, when products came to Australia, the company actually used different delivery organisations for each individual state, depending on where they were, and that was quite regularly. In fact, all the time. The interesting part is, because I actually drive a truck a few months a year delivering goods, and through a couple of organisations, but one mainly. Even though freight might be delivered at one place by we'll say a company or company B, it doesn't mean to say it's going to be delivered to the end person by the same company. It's actually could go through two, three different freight organisations to get there, depending on who they are, and also depending on where that individual lives as well. So that's one of the challenges. TNT, who is now, and that was Australia-wide, a multinational, has now been taken over by FedEx, and it's taken time for FedEx and the new concept, the way they do it, to get to various different addresses. So a FedEx might come to Australia, but it doesn't necessarily mean to say FedEx is actually going to deliver it to a regional area or, wherever it might be. TNT, now run by FedEx, actually delivers to Thursday Island, but it's another freight organisation that actually delivers it there. So,
well, I did hear Thomas in a meeting talk about. Actually, I think I was just at home with Tom, and he said that there was a company that they were getting very serious about that actually did exactly that, and they pulled the best times and prices from 3 or 4 of the top shipping companies. And I was like, wow. And so I think we've got some exciting things coming up. But again, it's going to be a very measured step we take for Australia and New Zealand, because it can't be worse than what it is, or it'll be chaos.
I'll give you just a quick statement here. I just recently had some 2 boxes. They were delivered to the post office, Australia Post, exactly the same day, and to Orem in Utah, where my nephew lives. Now, the interesting part is the first parcel delivered supposed to be delivered at the same time has arrived, and that was 10 days ago. The second parcel, it's on board the delivery van, but it still has not been delivered. And I've been waiting 10 days, and that's sometimes the issue, so it doesn't necessarily always mean it's the company. It could be the person actually in their van delivering it to that address in the first place.
There's a lot of different things in today's world that it is. It could be cargo ships sitting on the sea for a while. It could be, there's a lot of things that it is. Could be. Anybody else want to have a few words? Thank you, Maurice, on shipping.
Leisel, it's Harry.
Yep, go ahead, Harry.
Yeah, Leisel, I just want to remind people we're going through difficult times in the world. Everybody's on edge. Everybody's stressed. And I can understand what people are saying. And just in my own example of what happened, I had a UPS parcel delivered to me, 1 box for Magda, Jacoiden. And can you believe it? Because I didn't hear the doorbell ring, they didn't deliver it. It was a different driver, a new driver. And anyway, I took the box back, and it took me 2 weeks to get it back again after 12 phone calls, because the local UPS delivery depot didn't even have the main headquarters number for Sydney. And I chased it up between the 2 offices myself. But look, it's a way of, I think it's a way of just finding a resolution out of this. We're just sort of airing our our disappointments and that with what's happening at the moment, but there's always a solution, and it takes 2 parties to work together to find the solution. So even some of the Australians and that who know about freight and things like that, if we check around some of the companies and how we can bring it together, and I'm not knocking Australia Post, but our Prime Minister wanted to sell the whole thing off, and they caused this big commotion with the CEO of the company and that, as they do. And so this sort of caused the whole disruption in the deliveries and that for some months as well. But people, we don't realise what's going on behind the scenes, But everybody's frustrated about different things. I mean, you imagine running your company too to get your products in from overseas, from China and places like that. It's just a nightmare. But it is difficult. I think the biggest thing is remember the products we're using will help save your life. We can only just share them with the people that we love to help save their lives as well. And I still believe that we've got the best products in the world. So wherever the problems are, it's all right. We can all complain and everything like that, but we've got to look for solutions, And it's the big thing is to ask, what can we do about this? Where can I go to help this sort of be sorted out? And we'll come to a solution. And it only works through the power of love. As soon as we get dissension amongst the people, it separates everybody, and you don't resolve anything. You go away from each other, but you've got to come back together in unity, and work from that source, And I think it's a wonderful opportunity to sort of solve this, because I feel that Sisel's not growing fast enough in Australia. It's only my opinion, but I think it is the problem with the issue of getting the product here on time. Because if you get somebody who's excited to join, and then all of a sudden it's like a fire, you get a fire going. You put more heavier wood on it, it gets hotter. But then that fire burns down. If they're waiting for their product for 6 to 8 weeks, it's a huge disappointment, And
therefore, I think that's why, sorry not to interrupt you, but I think that's why Jen makes that comment. It's very important that new distributors are sent express. And sometimes that can be a little bit tricky. Make sure they, don't get CPU headway. That there's a love there for those products. The sooner they get them, the better.
I feel it's important too to definitely make sure that whether we get Express or we get an economy, that we still get the loyalty bonus points, because at the moment I've broken from economy to Express on a few parcels and that now, but I feel that I probably won't get my loyalty bonus for that, and but we just have to know what's happening,
Yeah.
And I think the company can make that ruling too. Whichever way you get the freight, you're still going to get your freight back paid at the end of the year or whatever,
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
But anyway, that's about all I can say, I think. But look, just hang in there. Use the products. Use them more. Use the Spectrum Max. Tom Senior said, if there's one product on earth we all should be using and dousing ourselves in, is a Spectrum Max. So the more heat you get, and the more stressed you get, drink more Spectrum Max. All I can say, seriously, truly.
That's right.
Yeah. I got a surprise for you too. I got some beautiful flowers for you. How about that?
Oh, look at those beautiful orchids there too.
Eh?
And look at those.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you
I
are.
love that.
Anyway.
Thank you. Oh, perfect for Easter.
What about this white orchid here? Beautiful.
I love orchids. I've got one just like it on my table. That's beautiful, Harry.
But that's for everybody anyway, So let's share the love. Let's see if we can sort out the problems. Whatever the problems are, we can overcome them,
Absolutely. And I agree with Harry 100%. We're not growing fast enough. And some of these things are things that will keep us from growing fast. So, again, these aren't complaints from anyone. These are issues that we'll deal with, and we'll keep them on our front burner. We'll keep talking about them. But yeah, you're getting your rebates, guys, for absolutely sure. So let's move on, unless anybody who hasn't spoken on shipping wants to say one last thing. All right. Oh,
nobody else talking? I don't want to hog it, but I think getting a new council together and whatever, we really, really need to concentrate on right from the start, doing the things right and training the people right and, getting programs together for that. So that to me is a priority.
And, one really cool thing going and seeing the Amish and the way they do business, it's very interesting. They're not able to even hardly send emails. They have no social media. It's all meeting people, showing them products, doing what they call tastes and talks, which is, showing the products and having a little bit of education. They've been awesome to come on here and talk about the ways that they do that. But I agree 100%, Jenny, in that systems that will help us. And I'm really excited about some program coming out at Mower Mountain. I can't say that enough. I think it will really invigorate our current market right now with just a lot of enthusiasm for just what it gives you as far as getting out there and talking about our products. So it's really cool, you guys. So Jenny, I agree wholeheartedly. Like I say, this is kind of our big council right now. We'll dial down because it's too hard to have a lot of people on a council. We saw that. And I think we got down to about 8, and that was a great number. I think that's kind of where Milo put his, kind of based on ours, because it was very easy to deal with that number. And so as we do these calls, those of you who stay on, and in the end, we'll talk about who wants to be on the council. But it's definitely time to have everybody talking about the ideas going on in Australia. So let's close down shipping. Lots there to think about, talk about. I want to end it with, if you have any shipping companies that you want me to look at, and I think especially from Australia on, as soon as UPS gets to the Australian border, that maybe there's a better company there that we can find that we're able to get a good bit with there. And that could be the answer. So, okay, next subject for anyone who wants to talk about a subject in Australia. Anything? how's everybody feeling about customer service? I wanted to ask you guys this anyway. I know a lot of times on some of the deals of the day and different things, it's kind of a little harder for you guys to get your orders in, talking to a few people. But can I get a little bit of feedback on how that is? Because it seems like we have a pretty good team. Can you guys, anybody give
Leisel,
some feedback?
it's Harry.
Yes.
Leisel, I get up at 3 a.m. to do it, or 4.
Yeah.
I reckon you just got to make the effort. Look, why get caught up in the middle of the day and get frustrated? Why not? And it's only one day in your life. I keep saying to people that a lot of the things we do in our lives, it's only the one day. You've got another 364 days or so to work with. But I look at things a bit differently, I think, in a way. Maybe I'm a bit odd. But, I'll get up and look, I've got a gentleman here in Sydney I'd been ordering for now for a year. He hasn't ordered anything just lately because he's moved. But I'd get up at 3 a.m. to place his orders.
Yes.
I'd get a copy of his invoice as well because I don't have a computer. But the customer service has always been excellent. If I've had a few issues, I've said, can I talk to the supervisor, please? So I go through to the supervisor. They usually sort it out, But But yes, it's a matter of, what time of the day. It's a matter of importance. I mean, a lot of, we seem to whinge a lot. I'm just talking openly for everybody, because we don't want to look at the solutions, what I mean? You've got to set your alarm on your phone, get up at 6 o'clock and do it, do it just that one time. At least at the end of the day, you're going to feel fantastic. I feel fantastic when I place the order because I know it's on the way. And, anyway, that's me, but, I'm probably a bit odd, a bit different to other people. But that's why they call me Harry the Flying Angel.
That's
but anyway, we're looking for solutions. We're not looking for problems, that's for sure. But anyway, thanks so much, Leisel. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. And sometimes the solutions start with some problems, but I think I see Carmel say customer service has been great. I think for a while there, we had quite a few people. We had Utah, as you saw, was one of the top states with COVID, and it definitely hit a lot of our employees, but we've hired a lot of them and they've been trained. You guys can always tell, when we have new people upstairs, it's difficult. You guys are so patient with them. It's a lot to learn. I mean, many of them have never heard about them before. So can you imagine to learn about all these products, comp plan, and how LM works, and then get on a call and give information to you guys who are experts? So we want to always try and keep our customer service agents as happy as possible. So they stay with us as long as possible, because then they give you guys better service. But I've been hearing some good things about everybody, and it's been a long time since I've had any complaints at all from customer service. So I'm feeling like that's not a complaint, huh?
No, they're absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I like that.
Leisel, it's Pam. I want to back that up as well, because every time I've called the customer service, they've been fantastic. They're so polite, they're so helpful, they're very pleasant to talk to, they're helpful, and I never had an issue at all. And I call in the morning, Harry, not 3 a.m., but I call around, 9 o'clock or whatever, and they've always been fantastic. So, I just like to back that up and sort of say congratulations to them. And I always tell them they're doing a great job.
Good. Awesome. And I appreciate you doing that, because they love to hear it. Jen says it was very interesting last year, but they're doing much better. Like I say, we just, we struggled like everybody else to keep people. So it's been very hard. So seeing the rates go, the numbers go up again, nerve-wracking, but we'll just keep doing.
We could always send the packet of Tim Tams.
What'd you say?
We can always send a packet of Tim Tams saying thank you.
Oh my gosh, it's like 5:57. Like this call went just like this. We were going to do it till 6. My gosh. So here's what I'm going to suggest. We've got 3 minutes to the end of this call, and we've talked about just a couple of issues. I'm going to send out a follow-up questionnaire that kind of asks you guys about maybe some of the top issues you see within Sisel, some of the top issues you see within Sisel, Australia, New Zealand, things that you'd like to have. Would you to maybe get some opportunity calls going. Would you guys like some training on just different things to keep people going? We could always do the Zoom opportunity. I know I was talking to one of our distributors who made their own Zoom opportunity meeting, and she says that it is the best way she gets people to join Sisel is they take a look at that and they give her a call. So we have a really great one just for our market. It does talk about Tom Senior on there, which is still fine. But there's a lot of things that we can do to get our market growing. And it will, again, it started in the last or two. So people are ready to engage, but there's a lot of fun things we can do. And as, like I say, once Mower Mountain comes, there's going to be a lot of questions on how all of that affects our market. And we'll do a lot of training with that. And then, of course, we've been talking already about getting some tours lined up for Australia and getting some people out here and doing some fun things as well. But I will send a follow-up questionnaire. I would appreciate it if you guys would answer it. If you have your email, if you guys could please, those of you on here that can help me with that questionnaire, send it to lmower@sisel.net, kind of fill it out, give me some feedback on the ideas that you want, where we're going, and how you want to get there. Also, there'll be some questions about your interest to sit on the council, and we'll keep going from there. We got some great things ahead of us, guys. I can totally feel it. Sometimes I feel really bad because I see the cool things coming up at corporate, and I just want to tell you so bad, only because it'll give you so much hope. Because, I feel like we're kind of in just like, there hasn't been, like, we've had some fun products and a few things, but we've been so stuck in COVID and this and that. It just seems like it's been the same, but a lot of cool changes and a lot of things, cool things, obviously, that stay the same. But we can get this going again. We absolutely will. We've got everybody at corporate behind us, and I appreciate your guys' support as always on the Saturday call. And I want to thank you. Personally from me, really, I do. Jen, thank you. I appreciate you guys too. Dad loved this call. He absolutely loved this call. I was doing good. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I went through some training of his on our calls because I was sorry, guys. We
love you, Leisel.
Oh, thank you.
And
I was
let it out.
Don't apologize.
I know I should. I was looking at our calls here, and he had so much fun. And there was the one with his furry hand, that took me like 20 minutes to see and drove him crazy, and just all his great support. And, I saw some of his old messages and, what's on the call. He loved this call and he loved this country, and he would want us to really get in there. Virtual hugs. Thanks, you guys. And he would want us to just get back to work. And that's what we got to do. So I really appreciate the support in this because we got some cool things coming. I can talk to you guys about. I absolutely will, because it's really going to help your businesses. And yes, we love Tom as well too. So thank you. Sorry about that, but not sorry. I guess at the same time, you guys are just awesome. And I know we have some issues, but we'll absolutely work them out. So with that, have a great weekend, you guys.
Thanks, Lisa.
And our next call is May 7th, and we'll have our regular call. I'll have some training, a little more training we had than this time. Thank you, Pam. And we will have our Sisel business after as well. And again, we'll talk about a different time, but I think it works out great. It doesn't take 2 days instead of one for both calls. So have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah,
Leisel, one of the things I'm most grateful to your father is he taught all of us here in Australia to read labels.
Yes.
Morris, why would you eat Tim Tams when they can chemicals, which are known carcinogenics.
Absolutely. Agree.
And read your labels.
Morris is in trouble.
Yep.
And we have a really cool Turn the Bottle campaign coming up that's going to give you guys some awesome tools too. So just you mentioning that, that's one of our a list of one of the campaigns going on. Just this huge program coming. So lots of good things that's really going to reinvigorate us. So get ready, guys, and we'll hit it.
Bye, Leisel, and thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Have a great weekend, everybody. Love y'all.
You too.
Bye now. Thank you, Jenny. Love you, Jenny. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Leisel.
Thanks, Leisel.
Bye.
Thank
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, Leisel. That was great.
Thanks for coming.